a son. And who better? Joe was a solid and steady guy who knew each dawn arrived with its challenges and needed to be approached with respect and focus. But seasoned with a healthy dose of humor, Joe was instinctively joyful. And he was a perfect match for his co-anchors, Barbara Harrison and then Anya.
Once you get over there on the coastal highway, it's almost down at sea.
Joe Krebs was a natural journalist, curious, smart, fair. He embodied the virtues of the best in this business, and we were better for it.
Go to work every day, take your job seriously, and you need to do it well.
And he did it well. News got into his blood as a child in the Midwest, flowing in on radio waves.
We would listen to the NBC World News Roundup.
Today's roundup includes spot news pickup.
And I just thought that sounded like the neatest thing in the world to do.
And it was so neat watching him do it.
This is a horrible sight to be sitting here.
For decades, Joe calmly, confidently told the stories of our town, the stories of your lives. He had originally gone to law school, and he applied that knowledge to his coverage of John Hinckley Jr. on trial for shooting President Reagan. Joe had done a stint in the Navy, so he was at ease, reporting from a fighter jet.
And to be able to pull back on the stick and have that plane go up and up and up. And then he said, look over your head, and you can see the contrail coming around as you make a complete circle. It was thrilling. As much a mystery today.
And later he would use his investigative skills to bring some relief to grieving families when he revisited unsolved murders in his ongoing series of cold case files. And in between, there were lots of stories, the hurricanes, the frustrations, the corruptions, the celebrations, that are all part of covering news in a very big, small town. Joe was refreshingly unaffected, approaching TV news without any of the ego and arrogance or swagger that infects too many who make their living on a stage. With his generous insight and the rolling cadence of his narration, Joe steered us through the waves of our daily events firmly at the rudder, not standing on the bow. And we were better for it. In his personal life, Joe spent some 50 years married to his sweetheart, Mary Lynn. He regaled us with the drama and the hilarity of raising daughters Anna and Emily, from Girl Scout cookies to grandchildren. He survived a sudden heart attack while riding his bike, and later he went on to ride that bike hundreds of miles, raising money for food and friends. And it was with mixed feelings in 2012 when we all watched him retire after more than 40 years in the business, so he and Mary Lynn could travel. They spent 5 years following the sun to other skies. And then one day he felt an awful pain.
It was really an incredible kick in the gut.
Cancer is never fair, but in targeting Joe Krebs, it seemed especially cruel. For 3 years, the cyber knife and the chemo drugs brought hope and time and allowed Joe to tell us a final story, one of courage and shifting horizons.
I want to do what I love, and I want to live the best life possible.
You bats have thumbs.
That's what I want to do.
As with everything, he did his best. Joe Krebs' gift was helping us make sense of our world without deploying anger, prejudice, or fear. He showed us that life is best consumed with an open mind and an open heart. And we are better for it. For the gracious spirit that was our Joe.
So as I said, after many words, it does come all down to just 2 words. Thank you. And bye.
Oh. Oh.
Thank you, Joe. Tonight our thoughts are with his wife, Mary Lynn, his children, Anna and Emily, his brothers and sisters. He had a lot of siblings and his grandchildren. And we ask that you send them good thoughts too. Joe Krebs, gone tonight at the age of 78. May he rest in peace.